Hot take. Mario Kart being rebranded into Nintendo Kart wouldn't be a great thing. I have seen a lot of people get excited about seeing other Nintendo icons in Mario Kart after Mario Kart 8's inclusion of Link, Villager, Isabelle, and Inkling. But to me, I feel like Mario Kart still has much more room to grow before really needing to branch out into other franchises. To an extent, I feel the same way about third parties in Smash Bros. I think that having some are cool, but really, even if the next Smash Bros. Is 10 years from now, will we ever see the same amount of hype for characters like Dixie Kong, Waluigi, Impa, or Ashley as we did for characters like Banjo, Steve, and Sora? And I think that in cases like these, bringing in more characters that are out of the realm of the initial group just ends up making their inclusion much less special. If characters like Terry or Hero in Smash Bros. Were the only third-party characters in their games, rather than following up from massive inclusions like Banjo and Joker, there might have been even more hype surrounding their inclusions. And I feel like the same goes for Mario Kart, where the inclusions of Zelda, Animal Crossing, and Splatoon characters feels really special, but if Mario Kart just becomes Nintendo Kart, it won't be a special thing anymore. I do think that it's really cool to see some characters that we've never expected before, but we have plenty of characters from the extended Mario universe that would be fantastic inclusions before we need to start adding the likes of Kirby and Captain Falcon. If Mario Kart 9 is indeed coming out on the Switch, I'd love to see it be a Mario Kart All-Stars title. This year is the 30th anniversary of the series after all, so what better way to celebrate? Since it has been much longer than usual since we got a new Mario Kart title, I'd love to see a game with a much larger character selection and even more tracks than 8 had. And I want to go over my wish list of what I'd like to see, starting with the characters. Of course, we'd have the series staples: Mario, Luigi, Peach, Toad, Yoshi, Bowser, Wario, Donkey Kong, and Koopa Troopa have all appeared in most, if not all, of the games. And on top of that, Daisy, Waluigi, Rosalina, Toadette, and Baby Mario and Luigi have all appeared in most of the titles since their first inclusion. Next, there are the other characters I'd consider to be safe bets to return, in Shy Guy, Lakitu, Dry Bones, Bowser Jr., King Boo, Metal Mario, and Dry Bowser. And then the last group of returning characters I've envisioned are Birdo, Diddy Kong, Funky Kong, Wiggler, and Petey Piranha. These guys aren't locks, but if we were to get a massive Mario Kart All-Stars, I could definitely see them return. Now, for the newcomers I'd love to see in this scenario, a lot of them may seem like dream picks, but with a big Mario Kart All-Stars title, I would absolutely love to see all of these characters from the extended Mario universe. So let's get started with number 1, Goomba. He may seem like a joke pick, but Goomba is honestly the first character I thought of when coming up with this list. Bowser's minions have slowly started to become more and more playable in Mario's spin-off outings, and Goomba's one of the most iconic Mario enemies of all time. So, if one were to get added, I'd think Goomba's a shoo-in. Next is Luma, and really, I honestly don't know why Luma isn't playable yet. I don't get why they randomly create Baby Rosalina for Mario Kart 8 when they had this lovable little star just waiting to get included. I felt as though the baby versions of the princesses were just some of the least notable characters in the Mario Kart lineup, and adding in Luma to replace them is just smart, an existing lightweight character that people really adore. Except for Smash Bros, I guess. And say what you want about the overuse of the Koopalings in the past decade or so. I mean, I didn't even include them on my list here, but at least they all have unique character traits and personalities. Meanwhile, if you removed the color from each of the baby princesses, I bet half of the Mario Kart 8 player base couldn't even tell which is which. Have an answer yet? They're all Baby Daisy. Next is Nabbit, who I think is a really fun character who's gone relatively overlooked since his debut, and while I think he's probably the least likely inclusion on this list, at least from the mainline Mario titles, I still think it would be pretty fun to see him here. Captain Toad is also here, and just for fun, I'd put him alongside the heavyweights in the game thanks to his backpack. While there isn't much to differentiate him appearance-wise from our normal mushroom-headed friend, he has become a relatively big star in the Mario series in recent years. Rounding out the mainline Mario characters, from Odyssey we have Cappy and Pauline. And I think that if Mario Kart sticks with Mario characters, these two are locks for the cast. Odyssey is a beloved title with some of the most unique characters in the series, so I wouldn't be surprised at all to see some of them utilized here. And even if they weren't the biggest surprises, I'd still be extremely hyped to see them, especially since Mario Kart 8 Deluxe neglected to include any DLC, giving Odyssey some representation in the game. I'd also like to see Kamek and Poochie from the Yoshi's Island series. They'd be pretty fun inclusions. Kamek has been cut from numerous games in the past, and Poochie has become a pretty big star, relatively, for Yoshi's Island, so I would love to see them. I think they're really good picks. And to mirror the two inclusions from Yoshi's Island, I'd also add two characters from Donkey Kong Country in Dixie Kong and K. Rool. K. Rool was one of the most popular first-party inclusions in Smash Bros., and Dixie Kong is now the most requested first-party character. I think that Nintendo including them here would be smart as a way to branch out a bit into other franchises while still sticking with quote-unquote Mario characters. Plus, it would satiate those requesting Dixie in Smash, at least for a little bit, showing that Nintendo, in fact, has not forgotten about her. Now, that's the lineup, and I think it's pretty strong. But now it's time to move on to the courses, and to start off, I think that 2 to 4 cups of new courses would be pretty great, primarily focusing on locales from Odyssey, which really has been the biggest Mario game since Mario Kart 8's release. From New Donk City to the Sand Kingdom, the Cascade Kingdom, and the Steam Gardens, these are just a few of the tracks, and factoring in the many variants that you can include, like New Donk City's sewers, or the first night in the area, as well as the oriental take on Bowser's Castle, I think you have at least 2 cups of tracks right there, and areas based on Yoshi and Donkey Kong would be neat too. There's almost always a new DK track anyways, so there should be something nice, as well as a slew of new wacky ideas like the many they've come up with in the series past. I think you could easily get 16 tracks here. But, as the All-Star title would suggest, I think that the big focus here should be retro courses, and Mario Kart 8 had 12 cups. I think that just 12 cups of retro courses alone wouldn't be a super big ask, especially when I think a lot of them would be returning from 8 anyways. I'm going to quickly go over a few tracks from each past game that I'd love to see return here. Of course, we have to start with the first game in the series, Super Mario Kart, and from Super Mario Kart, I think that the first retro track you play in the game has to be Mario Circuit 1. It's the very first track in the series. It has returned in the past, but like with many of the tracks I'm going to talk about, especially from the older titles, I think it's okay to overlook that factor here. Ghost Valley 3 seems like a moderately difficult course for SNES standards, and the tone is much more different from other types of courses in the game. Koopa Beach 2 and Vanilla Lake 2 could incorporate underwater driving in some ways, which I think would be a great way to evolve some of the oldest courses in the series. And even though it would be its 5th appearance in the series, I do think that Rainbow Road should be included here. There isn't much to say about it because it is the most widely available course in the series, but it's also one of the most recognizable. Like, you'll see it and recognize it instantly as the Mario Kart course. Now, Super Mario Kart is unique in that all of the courses returned in the Game Boy Advance game alone, and many have had a 3rd appearance since then, and Rainbow Road having a 4th in Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. But since retro courses became a series staple in DS, Mario Kart 64 has also had 15 of its 16 tracks return. So I think that the first course you have to consider from 64 for this All-Star title is Wario Stadium, the only course from the game that hasn't returned. It's a bit aesthetically bland, and there are definitely other Wario-themed tracks that I think should make the cut, but I definitely include this one so that we can have each 64 track return at least once. Koopa Troopa Beach is my personal favorite 64 track, and I would love to see it updated to have Sunshine Airport visible across the ocean. And the Mario Kart 64 version of Bowser Castle is, in my opinion, the best Bowser's Castle course in the game. It has just a fantastic and chilling atmosphere, and the theme is just really neat. I think it would make for a great penultimate course towards the end of this game. Moving on to Super Circuit, the first one I thought of was Lakeside Park, which is a pretty fun track, a jungle with a volcano in the background, and while we do have DK Mountain, this one just, for some reason, stands out a bit more to me, and since it hasn't returned, I'd pick it over its Double Dash counterpart. Mario Kart's desert tracks are often considered the most bland courses in any given game, but the one that definitely stands out the most to me is Sunset Wilds, which just has a beautiful background, interesting obstacles. It's just a really great atmosphere, and I would love to see it make a return. It would probably remain heavily altered, like in Mario Kart Tour, to make it more politically correct. But even though I'd love to see the original designs, I still think that it would be a fantastic inclusion. And Cheep Cheep Island is another atmospheric track from Super Circuit. As seemingly one of the longest courses in the GBA title, I think it would be a great inclusion as an all-star track. Double Dash has a number of great potential inclusions, but I think that you have to start with the number one most requested course, that being Wario Coliseum. And it is the only 2-lap course in series history. It's a twisting, turning cage match of a racetrack, just a really unique theme that I'd love to see. Mushroom Bridge is one that I haven't played very much, but it seems like one of the more fun city-themed courses, and that music is just absolutely fantastic. Mushroom City would be cool too, especially since it hasn't been brought back yet, but I do think that if you want to think about bringing back courses specifically for early game cups, late game cups, I think Mushroom Bridge would be a fantastic early game race. And there's Peach Beach, the first course I ever played back when I first got Mario Kart Wii. Simple? Sure. Are the birds annoying? Definitely. But I think the amount of nostalgia I have for this racetrack is just too much to overlook. Now, DS is the game that I have probably played the least in the series, but it has some absolutely fantastic course design. All of the tracks I'd like to see here have each returned at some point, but they're the ones that stand out to me the most. What can I say? Delfino Square is one of my favorites here. It's just a lovely little town with some fun little shortcuts and fantastic music. I'd love to see the town become much more lively with the more powerful hardware of the Switch and HD graphics. Peach Gardens is another atmospheric track. It's nothing too out of the ordinary. It's maybe even a bit simple, but I do think it's one of the more unique tracks taking place around Peach's castle. Airship Fortress, based on the airship levels from Mario 3, may be one of my all-time favorite course ideas. It has a decent amount of difficulty while still remaining a straightforward track, and I just think that the amount of hazards makes it just one of those all-time great tracks for just some random multiplayer fun. While I don't want the video to be too long, I want to keep the number of spotlights of courses for each game pretty low. I do want to highlight really quickly Waluigi Pinball and TikTok Clock as two other must-haves from the DS title, even though the latter is already on the Switch. For Mario Kart Wii, the first big standout in my opinion is Daisy Circuit. I love the lighting, the setting, and especially the music. I think that the course design is a bit simple, but not too simple that it gets old quick. This is one of the few courses that I think I could play over and over again for years without ever getting sick of it. And Mario Kart is known for some wild track ideas, but I'd say that none are more unique than Toad's Factory. Even though only 2 games have been released since Wii, it's still a travesty that they haven't made this course playable since. And Coconut Mall is another really fun one, with lots of little secrets and shortcuts that can be discovered. The parking lot sucks, but it still isn't as bad as my store's parking lot. At least the Mii's know how to drive properly. For Mario Kart 7, Daisy Hills is just a fun little track with some nice scenery and some of the most upbeat music in the series. It's one that I think would definitely look great with the HD visuals, and I'd just love to see it come back. Rock Mountain is one heck of an adventure, essentially becoming an entire trek through a mountain range, and it is the course that I think of when I think of Mario Kart's gliders. Woohoo Island to me is the section race. Even though I didn't mention them, I'd assume that Mii's are returning in this game, which, unlike other Nintendo characters, I'm not really opposed to, because they don't really feel like characters from their own series, just self-inserts that work in any game with a cartoony atmosphere. Woohoo Island is great, it's got fantastic scenery, and with the music, you just really get a feeling of how big and grand the island is. And the last 3DS game that I want to mention here is Rainbow Road. I don't think that 2 Rainbow Roads returning is out of the question here, and I think that this is the best Rainbow Road of them all. I think that, in my opinion, the best and most iconic tracks in this little group definitely fit the bill for All-Stars, and having this as the last track in the game, like with 64's Rainbow Road in Mario Kart 8's base game, would feel like a grand ending to the game. For Mario Kart 8, I decided to split the game into the tracks from the base game and the DLC tracks. For the first game, Sunshine Airport would be neat just to have the connection with Koopa Troopa Beach. It would be fun maybe even to see another race take place in the background, just a nice little detail. Mario Kart Stadium feels to me like the ultimate circuit-style track. It plays up Mario Kart 8's theme of making the game feel like a NASCAR caliber sport, with the highlight reels and the spotlights at the end of the Grand Prix. And Mount Wario is the other spotlight here. It is by far my favorite course in all of Mario Kart. I love the setting, speeding down a mountain only to find yourself on a ski slope that looks straight out of Mario and Sonic, and the theme is my all-time favorite piece of music ever. From the DLC, there aren't very many tracks to choose from, especially when axing the crossover courses. So I don't really think I need to go over all of them here, so I'll just quickly go through. I'd bring back Ice Ice Outpost, Super Bell Subway, Wild Woods, and Dragon Driftway, all of which feel super unique to me, even more so than most of the tracks from the base game. Of course, these wouldn't be the only retro courses in the game, just the ones that to me stand out as must-haves, in my opinion. I'd also imagine bringing back essentially the same battle mode as Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. There was just so much variety there and so many modes, it was really fun. But now with more courses from throughout the series, ranging from Skyscraper to Pipe Plaza, Block Plaza, and Battle Stadium. And while I've avoided Mario Kart Tour like the plague, I do think that it has changed up the retro courses by including new variants, and I really do like that. So if I had to include one thing from it, I'd love to see the reverse tracks, which were allegedly intended for other games in the series. It would just be a really neat inclusion to help players show their mastery over each course. I hope that this video has shown that Mario Kart still has plenty of content it can use before it really needs to become a crossover series. Just going back to Smash Bros. Real quick, I do think that it became a celebration of all gaming history just a bit too quickly. While I think a small group of characters like Sonic, Mega Man, and Pac-Man works, the addition of more third parties will just make future inclusions less exciting. I don't want Mario Kart to go down the same path, and with the series' anniversary coming up, I'd much rather see a celebration of everything that's come before than an evolution that would push the series further than it's ever gone before. What would you like to see for Mario Kart 9 if it were to come out this year or next year? Let me know in the comments. Thank you all so much for watching. If you liked the video, please leave a like and subscribe to the channel, and I will see you all next time.